You hear me out. I'm D.
I'm E.
And today we're going to be talking to you guys about the Kardashians. We are caught up now. We're back to our weekly recap. As some of you may know, we mentioned in our last recap that, we're out of town. So this has not exactly been the easiest to do, but we want to make sure that we stay consistent with you all because we appreciate the people who are watching, the people who have subscribed and everything. So anyway, we have a format. We're not changing that just because we're not at home. Go ahead. What's our format?
All right, so like other videos, we're going to break the latest episode into sections, and then we're going to go ham on them. Because, if you haven't seen the previews, this is where Tristan is officially on the apology tour, on the apology train, and has actually spoken with Kylie and Kourtney. I have to really think about these K names. So we're just going to break down the episode and get started. This episode is episode 8. It's called Not Forgotten, Not Forgiven. We need to forgive him. Not forgive him, forget him.
I agree.
Because he's annoying the crap out of us already. All right, the first section, it's Kourtney's 44th birthday, and she's having a bowling party, and all her family and friends are there. Kim shows up. I guess everything is cool with them, so it seems. Kourtney says that she feels like in her 40s, everything has been going great, and she's truly grateful for it. So many great things have happened in her 40s. So obviously, we know that she's married now.
Yeah.
She had a baby, Rocky 13.
Yeah.
Name is questionable.
Oh, she does.
But that's the name that she chose, and I'm happy. If she likes it, I love it. So she also said that she can't wait till Khloe joins her in her 40s. And as we know in previous episodes, Khloe can't wait because her 30s have not been the best. Besides her having her kids.
Right.
And we're talking about Trish Trash.
Right.
Trashing her 30s.
Right.
So Kim shows up and she says that her obsession is looking for funny cards online for people's birthday, and she found the perfect one. So they show us something basically Kourtney would say, or something she said.
Yeah.
Meh, it was whatever. Kourtney says that her usual vibe for her birthday is Disneyland or a trip, but she got talked into having a big party, and she said that she's not doing another one because we know when we do parties we have to host, so we're not really like having fun.
Yeah.
But she seems to have a good time.
Yeah. So, I feel like it was so weird, and like also, like I'm glad that Kim and Kourtney are in this better space and all that, but I don't know that it feels like fully genuine.
Yeah.
And of course I agree about, this is not fun. Having to basically like host and all that stuff when you should be enjoying your birthday, So yeah, I definitely like agree with that. And the birthday card was, kind of funny. But I think she has a point. Her 40s have definitely been better. So I'm, happy for her. And she's, got her own little family now. So yeah, all looking good for her.
Of course, Trav was there, and I don't know if they were making out. Probably. I don't know.
Maybe.
That's what they do.
That's what they do.
All right. The next section, Kim goes to Scott's house, and Kim is reading one of her scripts. Obviously, American Horror Story here, American Horror Story there. We get it, Kim. You act now. What else can't you do? Kim says that she's excited about the role. She has to go to New York for American Horror Story. She's going to be filming there. She's going to be doing 3 episodes for the next 4 months, whenever those 4-month span is.
Yeah.
Later on, we see her looking for a place. Kim did mention that she said in the Cabo episode that she was going to slow down. But obviously, my girl can't stop. Can't stop, won't stop.
Stop.
I know. I shouldn't have quoted Diddy, given, all the stuff that's going on. But Kimberly is always trying to do something.
She is.
But she says, why can't she do it all? Scott says that he's down to go to New York with Kim. Obviously, he wants her to pay 90%. He pays 10%. You go, Scott. Save your coins. This is a billionaire he's speaking to.
Exactly.
Kim says that she wants to make sure that she has a private entrance to sneak around or get in and out. Mm-hmm. Scott being Scott, of course.
Of course.
He has to say what he has to say. So he says, of course, that makes sense. You need someone to pound the pavement after your long days. And he goes on with all these other analogies. And she just looks at him, of course, like, Scott.
You know, I love him. like I'm gonna be real with y'all. I just love him.
Kim says that she just needs new vibes. Scott says she needs new D. Let's keep it censored.
I'm not inclined to disagree here, you know, like.
But who's she sneaking around with?
She ain't gonna tell us.
OBJ?
No, she's not gonna tell us.
Allegedly.
We haven't heard anything else about that. I was actually thinking of that earlier today. We have not heard any more about that.
That's
so
true.
Who knows? But I kind of really do like seeing Kim in this whole like acting vibe thing. Mm-hmm. Later on, she talks about how she has like an acting coach and all that. However, there was a comment she made where I don't know if it was like Tracy or somebody who told her like, you know, you should do this. This may be, you know, like what your real career will be. And then it just kind of made me think like, dang, are they trying to say she ain't got a career? Or like this was she, you know, I don't know. Anyway, point is, Kim is doing it all, you know, and it's putting all of us to shame because she's got 1,000,001 jobs and we have one and we're tired. Yeah. That's all. That's all I have to say about that. Like, yeah.
All right. The next section, we're in Calabasas at Chloe's house. Mm-hmm. Trish Trash, aka Tristan Thompson, aka Tristan third trimester Thompson. I know. I'm just going in on him.
Or as our bestie that doesn't know he's our bestie calls him, gay man with a spray tan. Shout out, love you.
Oh yeah, we love
calls him. What is it? Trashton. So we love you.
But we all had like the same theme.
Yeah.
So of course Tristan is there. We're happy to report that Tristan and Amari have moved out of Chloe's house, but that doesn't mean that she cut the cord. Chloe says that she was involved with Andrea with most of their medical appointments, obviously Amari's, for the past 7+ years. Andrea appointed Chloe to help her with anything medical for Amari. Obviously, Andrea has passed away. So she said that, of course, she doesn't want to let her down. And, you know, she's still taking these responsibilities very seriously.
Right.
Tristan says that therapy has taught him that he can't live life with regrets. Fast forward, he's been going to therapy for 2 years. Chloe says that he's been doing a lot of therapy and working on himself. He wants to prove that he's a different person. Tristan says that he's now in a place where he can go see, where he can see and own up to his mistakes. Years ago, he didn't know the damage that he was causing. Chloe says that his actions have affected everyone in the family. But time has passed. Tatum is here. His other son is here. Mm-hmm. Some emotions have settled down. Not forgotten, not forgiven.
Right.
Though. Tristan says that he respects her family and wants to talk to them. But what's interesting, and I had to quote Tristan right now, he said, whether they want to hear it or not, I would feel better expressing my truth to them. So let's let that sink in. Yeah. You know, maybe I'm pinpointing too much, but that just really stuck out.
Girl, I know where you're going.
Yep. And then he also said, as a man, you have to own up to your shit. So Chloe says, I know that you've had private talks with, you know, Kim, of course, Chris and Rob. Kylie and Kourtney weren't ready to have a discussion, but they're ready now, obviously, because we have to film and we need some content. We need content. So we'll see that later on. If someone were to ask Tristan if he thought Kylie misses Jordan, he would probably say that he does. Did I just fast forward? Oh. Maybe. Let's just end it there.
Well, I mean, they did talk about, how Kylie was affected and, the whole Jordan thing. And I want to say during that scene, Khloe also mentioned that she's forgiven Jordan and her and Jordan are cool. Mm-hmm. Whatever that means. Yeah. If in fact this has happened, right? And I believe she said that she's talked about that on socials, how she has let go or has forgiven Jordan and all that. A public apology, Khloe. I get it. You were wrong. You were. And there's no excuse for what you went through. But the way in which you and your family dragged Jordan, who was still a very young woman at the time, is not right.
Reprehensible.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And so accountability for that should be a public apology, Mm-hmm. But hey, each their own. From that whole scene, all I gathered is he still ain't ish. He never was ish. He never will be ish. Because how you doing therapy for 2 years and you're barely now kind of understanding, so that tells me you were already in therapy when you had a baby with another woman.
Well, they were, because they were trying to fix the relationship. They were doing this whole surrogacy thing, and then,
Right. So either you need a new therapist, Sarah, or therapy ain't for you. Listen, I've done therapy for about a year now, and it's done wonders for me. I know I still have a lot of growth, but man, he's on a whole nother level, I feel. And also, one, I guess, final thought with that, wasn't it interesting how Khloe says that for 7 years she's been doing this, that Andrea appointed her, blah, 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 blah. Why was this just barely mentioned in this episode and not in the last season or even at the beginning of this season when it's been so weird that she's kind of handling his medical stuff?
Yeah.
I don't know, why not mention it sooner, versus making it seem as though you're here, doing this for Tristan, it just kind of, I don't know. It felt a little weird, and I don't know why it was just barely mentioned.
I think she's just trying to justify the fact that she's not cutting the cord. I think we were all expecting, he moves out. All right, that's it. You helped him. You did your deed.
Yeah.
You're on God's good graces. But she said, I'm not ready to cut the cord yet. So by having, and I know this might sound a little insensitive, but by having this medical proxy thing with Amari, I can't let go of Tristan in essence,
Right. Okay.
So I think that's the connection that she's trying to build there, and to justify why.
What's still happening.
Yeah.
I say to that, vaya con Dios.
That means go with God. But back to that quote, whether they want to hear it or not, I would feel better expressing my truth to them. So, like I've said all this season, previous seasons, that just shows me that he has not changed.
Right.
Because whether they want to hear it or not, he's not taking into consideration other people's feelings. He just wants to express himself. Basically said, I said what I said. You take the apology, whether you want it or not, is up to you. I already did my good deed according to myself and probably my therapist.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. So I think, again, he's thinking about himself and him feeling better versus Khloe feeling better, or versus a genuine apology to everybody that he's hurt.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel in therapy, when you are told to make amends with people, I mean, that person has to be receptive to it.
Mm-hmm. So whether you want to hear it or not is not.
That's not them being receptive.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he has a different form of therapy. I don't know. But something...
And no, this is to the therapist. Maybe you're great and he's just not grasping.
Right. Let's just...
But ultimately, I don't think he's changed.
I agree with you.
And I don't know. I'm kind of tired of this apology tour, but we'll talk about
we
that
just
later.
started.
Well, I feel like it's been going on for like this whole season. We're 8 episodes in.
That's true.
We already knew this was going to happen 3 seasons ago.
Right.
Like, girl, if you just want to be with him, be with him. Like, now you're
We said that.
We did. But now you're like putting us through this. I'm like, again? And this emotional roller coaster that we are invested. And I realized this morning. I'm like, what? I'm tired of Chloe and her shit and their crap. Like, I feel like I'm in this relationship too. Granted, I like the drums, of course. I love the watching the show.
Yeah.
But, this is kind of like just a step every time. Like, we can't move on from it.
And it just doesn't even look organic. Like,
not anymore.
The way that he looked directly at the camera as soon as he, like, grabs something, he turns around, he's looking directly at the camera. It's like... And then, like, their awkward little sitting thing, and it was just... I don't know. It was just weird. It seemed very forced.
Yeah. All right. Next section. We're in New York, and Kim is shooting the cover of Time magazine. This is for Skims, and it's the most influential business cover. Kim has a lot of shit to do in New York. Here's a breakdown. She also has a Met fitting with Schiaparelli. Of course, we know that the Met theme back then was Karl Lagerfeld. So when Kim thinks of Karl, she thinks of these pearls. Later on, I guess, and in the next episode, we'll see Lil Northy dissing her mom after she approved. What else? But in this episode, North actually liked the dress. She just reminds me so much of Kanye.
She really is, like, exactly like him.
She's also looking for a place to stay. Then she went to the American Horror Story fitting. She's playing a publicist, so her outfits were Kris Jenner vibes.
Yeah, definitely.
Lastly, she has a meeting with Skin. Skin is her skincare line by Kim.
Yeah.
And she says that she feels exhausted with all that she's doing.
I don't know how she wouldn't be, honestly. There is, like, not... Okay, let me just tell you guys. Obviously, we are nowhere near the level of busy as Kim Kardashian. But we have been on this trip for several days now. We're pretty tired. We've done a lot. We've seen a lot. We've been to several places. But we're also still recording. We're also still researching. We're also still trying to do everything we can for Hear Me Out with D&E. But something y'all don't know is we also have a travel Instagram page that we've had for a lot longer than we had Hear Me Out. So we're doing content for that social media page. And hopefully soon an actual YouTube page. So we're tired.
And kind of working too. Because I have to check my emails.
I've been checking my emails as well because I don't want to get back to 2,000 emails. Seeing as we are gone for a very long time. Anyway, so we're busy. And we're tired, and we have probably only maybe twice had a full night's sleep since we've been on our trip. Other than that, it's been a couple hours here, a couple hours there.
Yeah.
Sleeping on planes or sleeping on buses. So we're tired. We're very tired. But, what Kim is doing is
nuts. And she has 4 kids.
Yeah. Like, that is insane. And yeah, I don't know how she does it. But hey, that's why she's a multi-billionaire. Killing the game.
I can't even argue with that because
here we are, sitting on the floor of our hotel, not multi-billionaires.
We will be one day though. All right. The next section, we're in LA. Chloe and Kylie are in this scene. Chloe had a talk with Kendall. And we learned that Kendall is not a fan of what was his name?
Trish.
No,
or Trashton.
Trashton. Chloe said that she had a talk with Kendall. Tristan was at Chloe's house, and then Kendall was gonna stop by. And Chloe said, "Oh, don't worry, you can leave." And he was like, "Hey, I wanna say hi." And then she was like, well, she doesn't really like you. It's like, oh, but I want to talk to her. Da, 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 da. He wants to be all up in the nacho. He wants forgiveness from everybody.
Yeah.
But she don't like you. I had to say it just like that. Chloe said that Tristan wants to talk to the sisters. There doesn't need to be closure, but there can't be progress if nobody talks. I don't. Okay.
This is Are we done with this section?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Kylie says that she's cool with talking to Tristan. She says that she already said what she felt on the show. So, they show a scene where she's basically saying that she's disappointed in him and his actions were unforgivable, which is so true. That's the most that Kylie has ever said, the most honest she's been, I think.
Yeah.
The most genuine also.
Right.
Kylie says that she likes Tristan as a person, but she has to separate him as a person versus the things that he has done to Chloe. So I think it's kind of very similar to what Kim has done.
Yeah.
Kylie says that she just wants the best for Chloe because she deserves it.
And I totally agree. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm Team Kendall right now. Like, never...
And Kourtney?
Well, we gonna get to that.
Okay.
But right now, I'm Team Kendall. Kendall girl. We right here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, ma'am. At least one of her sisters has some sense. Like, okay, don't get me wrong. Like, I understand Kourtney, trying to, like, I guess, find some peace. Mm-hmm. At the very least, she's honest about what she's feeling. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Kylie. The Kim thing, I guess because we didn't see the conversation, has always just felt weird to us, and we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
But I feel like Kendall, and honestly, I would have thought it would have been Rob. Mm-hmm. But Kendall being the one not to like him, I love it. Here for it. So much.
Yeah, I kind of wasn't expecting it, to be honest. But, Kendall is always in her little space.
In her own little world.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So we had to hear Kylie's side because obviously Jordan was her best friend.
Yeah.
Of course, we've seen Kim with the Tristan, grand tour when they were all hanging out and stuff.
Yeah.
But we also know that stems from, her saying that he's a great dad and an example
been helpful and all that.
And the whole Kanye thing, he hasn't been around.
Yeah.
Because he was in Italy or reporting or whatever the issue was. So, I can understand him being helpful. And then, she's probably forgiving as well. So.
Right. I guess.
And we know Chloe already forgave him, so.
I have a little bit of a theory on that. Because in that conversation she was having with Kylie, I got the vibe that no, she's not still, she's not over it. Because, she was saying, oh, you have every right to feel how you feel. Yeah, when she said about how he's a great guy, but he's done these things to Chloe, and she was like, yeah, if you're, why can't you be a great guy to me, or something like that. And it's like, true. I mean, and she has every right to still feel that way, because here we are all these years later, still talking about this stuff, still dealing with it. And now he wants to, I don't know, use the show as his apology tour. And they're letting him.
That's because he doesn't have a job. And we'll hear about that a little later. He just needs income from this Kardashian show.
Are they really paying him?
I mean, he needs some money. All right. The next section, Kim's in New York. We caught her oversleeping.
OMG.
Can you believe that? Chris Appleton was waking her up.
OMG.
Wake up. So, of course, Kim has a crap load of things to do. She has to go to the Today Show to talk about the Skims pop-up. Then she needs to pop up for Skims.
Right.
She says that she has no recollection of the day's events because she's now exhausted. She has an acting class at midnight, and Kourtney invited her to a Blink-182 concert because this is the beginning of the Blink-182 North American tour. So, of course, Kourtney invited her. She had to go, and she was there. So both of them were bonding. But Kim had to leave because at midnight she had an acting class via Zoom. Chris sent Kim a text saying that she's seeing what's on Kim's schedule and she needs to slow down.
Kim took a helicopter to go to this Blink-182 concert.
I know. That's what stuck out.
Like, bro, really? But I appreciate the effort.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's, I don't know, it's a lot. I would have stayed in bed, not the whole life. But then again, that's why I ain't a billionaire. I definitely would have overslept and stayed in that bed. It looked so comfy. So comfy.
But they just have had like this rocky period. So, you know, maybe that's what's her name?
Kim.
No.
Kourtney.
Kourtney extending like an olive branch.
Yeah.
Hey, come. We're in the same town. Even though it's not believable that you didn't know your sister is New York while you're in New York. But whatever.
Yeah.
Olive branch was extended, so I feel like Kim was like, oh, but of course.
Yeah.
Let me go.
For sure.
You know, she's trying to mend that relationship as well.
Right.
All right. We're almost done, guys. So section 7, we're at Kylie's house and Tristan is showing up for the talk. So obviously they make small talk. They're trying to catch up. And then the talk begins. So Tristan says that Kylie was affected the most because she lost a sister, basically. Sister being Jordan. Jordan was a big part of her life. They were like 2 peas in a pod. Tristan said that he's sorry and he feels bad about it. He made poor decisions and he was an idiot. He was young and stupid. Kylie appreciates the apology and she says that, you know, she believes that she was so codependent with Jordan and that she could never imagine her life without her. So if this incident didn't happen, you know, they would probably still be living together, which is crazy. Kylie says that, you know, maybe she needed to grow without Jordan and vice versa, which I think it has benefited both of them.
I think so, yeah.
But Kylie says that her and Jordan are cool. They still talk and catch up. Tristan said to Kylie that to let Jordan know that he apologizes for whatever. She went through a lot. He knows that he's the reason for the rift in that relationship, and that's the reason it went in another direction. Kylie told them that he does dumb ass shit. He's a great person, but does dumb things. It's contradictory and confusing to all the Kardashians. So basically, again, they said that he's just such a great person, so helpful, this and that, blah, 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 blah. But he does these things to Khloe and, you know, is so self-involved and, you know, doesn't think about any other person besides himself. Yeah. So that's just, you know, 2 kind of personalities. Right. So it's like, which one is it? Like Khloe said. Let's see what else. Kylie says it's hard to forgive the things that he's done to Khloe, but she wants to move on from that. Tristan says that his wake-up call was losing basketball, his mom, and his family in a span of a year.
So I believe you receive what you put out. And what he put out was a lot of bad-ish. And so, you know, you reap what you sow. Like, you have been a terrible person to this woman and to other women, Jordan included. And so, you know, your life isn't going so great. And it sucks about Andrea. I think that, you know, obviously that's really sad. But your job, your family, you had no control over what happened to Andrea, but you had control over the 2 other things. So that was on you. And so you got yourself to these places in life. Doing this apology tour, I feel, is beneficial for just him personally. And you know what? At the end of the day, he does need to have some growth. He does need to have some benefit for himself to be able to grow and to be in another place. But to me, it's like, I don't feel that he is selfless in any of this. You know, I feel like it's also very much selfish. It's also very much like just the Tristan show and you know, him wanting everybody to be cool with him. But it's like, you spent years hurting this girl, years hurting this family, hurting these other people. Coming for a season to apologize is not like gonna do the trick.
Yeah.
I don't feel, and then not only that, but it's like the trust, right? Like, how do you trust someone who's done this not just once, not just twice, but like multiple times? And now there's a child involved, like, I think there's just so many layers to it.
Mm-hmm.
And for Kylie, like, okay, great, her and Jordan maybe have truly benefited from, them having this time apart and all that. But the way, and I go back to what I said about Chloe earlier, the way in which Jordan was dragged and treated in the media and everything by them was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And Tristan at no point ever stepped in, at least publicly, and defended her. Like this episode, he said, "Oh, I was the older one. I shouldn't have done that or whatever." Yeah, you're older than her. You did these things, and you let her get dragged by Chloe and her family.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not only that, like, as a black man, you not standing up for the black woman that you dragged into this whole mess, while all these other white women are dragging her, does not look good. And I have always thought that that was just such a crappy move on his part.
Yeah.
Not only getting her involved in all of this, but also not taking the accountability when he should have, from the very start.
Yeah.
So him taking accountability now and apologizing for whatever, that feels really genuine.
Mm-hmm.
So genuine. Anyway, I can't stand him.
Well, obviously. But, I don't know how to feel.
It's a lot. Like, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I gotta let it marinate. I just watched the episode. Right. The next section is Kourtney is going to Ulta and she sees a Lemmy stand. She's recording a Lemmy ASMR, some kind of campaign, commercial, TikTok. I think she was just doing it all. Penelope shows up and Kourtney says that she loves sharing her work with her kids, but Penelope is the one that shows the most interest. She says that Penelope has great aesthetics and feedback, and she really appreciates her.
I love whenever, like, the kids are involved in some of these things, especially the older ones, because you can tell, like, they have an interest in these things. And it's something that, like, we've talked about in the past. These kids are paying attention. Like, they are learning and they are growing in this environment in which they're seeing their moms as businesswomen, as entrepreneurs, and they're wanting to like learn all of that stuff. So I think it's amazing anytime that they have them along for those sorts of like little things, related to like the businesses and stuff.
Yeah, I think Penelope has grown on me.
Oh, okay. I didn't know she hadn't.
Mm. All right, the next section. Kim and Chris have a convo. Chris is doing a mental wellness check. Chris is concerned that Kim is distracting herself from everything in her life. Kim says no. Chris says that she's worried. She believes Kim is so overwhelmed with all her projects. Kim says that she was going to do less. Well, Chris reminded Kim that Kim said that she was going to do less. Okay. But now she's done twice as much.
Dang.
Kim questions if she has imposter syndrome, where she can't believe that she did it or that they did it. So therefore she continues to work hard. So, they don't lose basically everything that they have. So nothing goes away.
Right.
Kim says that she's what did she say? That she's had said no to someone before and they stopped speaking to her. And Chris said, "Thank God. Did you send them like roses or something?" So basically, it's not a big deal. Kim says that her mom is right, but she has to get through these projects. Chris fears that Kim is going to burn out.
I wouldn't be surprised if she does, man. She's got so much going on. And she's still doing law school. Like, it's definitely a lot. She's got like skin. She's got the equity thing. She's all doing the acting. all of the cover shoots, the different, brands that she's partnering with, and
the events that she goes to.
yeah, it's definitely a lot. But, I think it's interesting, and I kind of wondered that in the past, if she kind of felt that, like the imposter syndrome, because it does kind of seem like, that could be a part of it. Like, because I feel like I would feel the same way. Like, whoa, like this is real life, and it's just like you kind of have to keep going, have to keep doing all these different things to get to the other side of it all. And so, I mean, hopefully she finds some downtime somewhere. I don't know. She was just voted GQ's Men of the Year, so she was doing a shoot for that. She's blonde now. She's also got like Skims Men's that came out, and the NBA partnership, and a million and one things. The Swarovski thing, a million and one things. Yeah.
I mean, she can hire people. She does have that luxury. Right, I think she's just like wants to have a pulse with, her businesses.
Which makes sense,
But I think she's not overly involved, but she's way more involved than maybe the average person with her net worth or something. Because, she has mentioned, like when she went to the Harvard thing, she says that, she knows all the fabrics, all the advertising or the marketing, that's a lot of information for people to, I think, let's say her as a CEO. The CEOs usually look at the grand scheme of things and have people delegate and execute. Kim wants to be a part of her businesses and all its intricacy. So I think that also, goes into her being so maybe tired or so busy or overwhelmed.
But I feel like that's because she is so involved. I think that adds to her success.
True.
So, if you know that this is what's been like kind of propelling, your success, then why would you stop? So like I get that, I get like I understand why that would kind of be like do I really want to like take a step back, delegate? I don't like she sold, right? Like what 20% stake in Skims was it to Cody, and I mean she's still doing pretty much like everything. So I don't know. I think it's definitely a big part of her success, like formula. So who knows?
Yeah, but especially if she just wants to continue growing in these different, spheres, she can't do it all.
That's
so
true.
She needs to. I think she needs to learn how to, delegate or choose the right people. Chris, we heard from Chloe that they might not have all the backup that they need, all the resources. So is that this scenario as well, kind of thing?
But I feel like this wouldn't be like Chris being the issue here. It's more like what you said. It's like Kim not being the one that's able to.
Yeah, but is Chris providing resources to Kim, or like in that managerial aspect, saying, "Hey, you need XYZ person"? Like Chloe said that she didn't have, somebody representing her for Good American, and she had to make these decisions and blah blah blah. So maybe Kim has taken all these responsibilities because maybe she doesn't have more people helping her or something like that. I'm just speculating.
Yeah, that's true. I can see that. Who knows though? She definitely needs a break though.
Yeah. I'm concerned. When does she see her kids? That's what I want to know. I don't mean to diss. I mean, she's so busy. Like,
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, she was just on the soccer mom tour.
That's true.
With Saint, and then she took the girls to Japan and all that. So,
and she had, basically, food thing with North. Kind of bond with her. So, I guess. All right, the last section, probably the moment that we've all been waiting for. Tristan is talking to Kourtney. So he goes to Kourtney's house to have a chat, and Kourtney has a notebook on that, and she has notes, and she's, ready to bust it.
Yeah.
She says that her and Tristan have not connected and she just can't fake it. This is what she said during her confessional. Court no longer has anger towards him, but wants to understand how could he do these things.
Yeah.
Court asks Tristan, the next day you do the deed, do you feel anything? Tristan says that when he cheats, he feels disgusted the next day. Then, of course, Kourtney asks him, why do you do it again? That's an obvious question. Right. Tristan says that he's basically doing it to do it, but it comes down to him not knowing how to love because that's the way he grew up. Then he talks about his upbringings and the relationship between his mom and his dad. He says that he's never seen a man treat a woman well, not cheat on her, be a good husband. He said that he made a mistake. Kourtney says multiple. Just correction. Yeah. Multiple mistakes.
That's right.
Then Kourtney asked, so what was the mistake? So Tristan says the mistake was not communicating with Khloe when he cheated and them not handling it together. Instead, she was blindsided with all this information. That sounds like a excuse, but okay.
Right.
Court says, given that your mom went through all these things, shouldn't Khloe say, I'm putting myself first and you don't stand a chance? Just a very valid question.
Right.
And basically says that, he doesn't deserve Khloe. His actions are not things that she deserved. And it was to be continued.
He does not deserve Khloe. Period. Point blank. End of story.
Yeah.
Caso cerrado. Like, he does not.
That means case closed, guys.
I'm sorry.
Caso cerrado.
And the fact that he can't acknowledge that goes to what you keep saying.
Mm-hmm.
He has not learned.
Mm-hmm.
He is still selfish. And everything Kourtney said to him is straight up truth. Team Kourtney over here.
Kendall and
Kourtney. I never thought I'd see the day. But
me neither. I'm kind of shocked to say I agree with them in this situation.
Yeah. And it's something that to me so crazy because they all say the same thing about Khloe. Khloe's so amazing. Khloe's magical. Khloe's great. Then why would any of them want him to be in her life like that again?
Especially Chris. That's the one that's confusing me.
As a co-parent, okay. Yeah. But as more than that, no. And that's really crazy to me that, here we are. And I can understand forgiveness. That is a mature thing. It is not the easiest thing for people to do. I can understand forgiveness. I can understand moving forward because things happen and you just have to move on because what else are you going to do? You can't dwell, right? However, to keep this man as someone of a potential love interest to the same family member that has been wronged by him multiple times so publicly is toxic, and it's a cycle that only leads to more toxicity. I don't know that aside from Kourtney and Kendall, I don't know that any of them really understand how terrible it could be for her to go back to him. And hey, Khloe, you get back with him, that's on you. Hey, that's to each their own.
Yeah.
But when it happens again, not if, when, what's your family gonna do this time? I don't know. And it just baffles me, man. It baffles me so much that they would even remotely, including her best friend, save your family. Girl, please. It's not her that needs to save it. He's the one who messed it up. Why does she have to be Captain Save-A-Ho? It is not up to her.
It isn't.
God, I'm so frustrated.
I don't know. I think the best solution for Tristan to show me real growth is saying, hey, Chloe has wanted space. Let me, I've done everything I could. I've gone to therapy. I've apologized to her family.
Yeah.
I'm showing I'm an exemplary whatever. Let me give her some time.
Yeah.
Or some space.
Right.
Let's see how it goes. But him trying to be all up in the nacho is just selfish to me. Like I mentioned earlier, he said that he basically lost basketball. Was he fired or retired or they didn't pick him up? I don't know.
I don't know.
Obviously, his mom passed away and he lost his family. So his family, I'm guessing, is the Kardashians.
Chloe, basically.
Chloe. So he's just trying to hold on to his family because that's all he got.
Yeah.
But, at the same time, I mean, it is your family, but it's not your family. It's her family. Right. So just give her some time.
Yeah, and I mean,
not that I want them to get back together, but I'm just saying, I think that would have been the mature approach. And I'm also kind of upset that he's doing this apology tour now. Yeah. I feel like this happened way before his mom passed away.
Yeah.
And it's like, why are we bringing up stuff like, basically Tatum is like, what, a year and a half probably?
A year.
Chloe was pregnant or the surrogate was pregnant a whole 9 months. So that puts us at 2 plus almost 3 years.
Yeah.
Like that should have been addressed the first episode of the new Hulu series at this point. Like, why are we dealing with this again? That doesn't make sense to me. And why did it take so long?
Right. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think like him talking about childhood traumas is a scapegoat. Because if you were working on any of that, and like you said, they were already in therapy when he got this other woman pregnant.
Because at this point, he had already cheated a couple times.
He had.
The Jordan thing happened.
Right.
So they were trying to work it out for the umpteenth time. They were finally getting to a good place.
Yeah.
He convinced her, similar to Jordan Craig, I want to draw the correlation. He convinced her to, have a baby.
Yeah.
And then, was done in the dark comes to light. Yeah. He had another affair with Marilee Nichols.
So, like, I don't know. Are we saying, or is he saying that it took his mother dying for him to be like, oh, yeah, my father didn't treat her right. Women deserve better. Like, why not understand that very, very, like, basic truth when his mother was alive?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that part kind of didn't make sense to me. I feel like that was probably a therapist's revelation and he's just regurgitating what the therapist said.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he really means it. I'd rather him say, hey, I messed up.
Right.
I ain't ish. I can only try to show you guys that I'm better. I prefer that than throwing all these different excuses because he's also said, oh, well, in basketball, you got to show that you're a man. I don't know what episode that was.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And you got to, do these things and not care about blah, blah, blah. So it seems like he was justifying cheating on Chloe. Now, in this episode, it's childhood traumas and basically anything that appeals to the audience, in my opinion, or appeals to a woman's
sensibilities.
Basically. That's what I think it is.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we've already talked about this, y'all. I'm over him. I'm over his BS. And honestly, like, this was just great content. Like, both for the show and for us to be able to, like, discuss this for the, like you said, umpteenth time. So, I'm tired of Tristan, Tristan, like, it's just It's ridiculous. And Chloe deserves so much better. Everybody says it. Therefore, they should not be wanting her with him. He is not better. He is not what she deserves.
I mean, only time will tell. Let's see how this conversation ends with Kourtney, and if he's going to premiere on season 5 at this point. How much more are we going to see this man? And can we see that Kendall interaction with Trish Trash?
I would love to
Can I see an eye roll? Can I see a psst? Like, can I see something?
I mean, we saw that little tiff that she had with Scott, like 2 seasons ago. It wouldn't be, such a bad idea to show Kendall being feisty with Trish Trash. That would be some great content. I don't even care if you put Benito on the show. Show me you and Trish Trash. I'll go with that.
We're done here. Guys, let us know what you think about the comment. Let us know what you think in the comments about this episode. Are we believing this Trish Trash train? Say that 3 times really, really fast.
Trish Trash.
Is Kim working too hard? Does Chris only care about him because she did a wellness check? I just wanted to throw that out.
She sure did.
What happened with the other kids and their wellness checks? But,
True.
I don't know. Let us know what you think. But that concludes today's episode. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also, please share our video. We're growing our community and we're so excited. So thank you guys. But we want your friends to be our friends. We also have social media, which Steve'll tell you about.
We're on Instagram and TikTok at Hear Me Out DNE. So make sure you guys follow, like, share, comment. We enjoy interacting with y'all.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.